Hello everyone on Arcturian philosophy. So right now, what I'm going to talk about is the topic of recruitment for MIB. I thought to myself, sorry about that, guys. I thought to myself, well, okay, if you if you time traveler, like Men in Black type guys are real, and you're starting accept an organization that you just call MIB, or you've already had this organization for a while with a lot of various backings behind it so that you're able to form something that's actually connected globally. What if people are interested in being a part of it? And the first answer I was given was, well, you don't contact us, we contact you. And I got this weird feeling when it was the older guy that I remembered who said that to me. And I got a weird feeling that it was that was like the movie Men in Black, that somebody in the actual Men in Black movie says that you don't contact us, we contact you. So I said, well, okay. So they said also, we do sometimes do something of a thing where if someone is recommended to us, or it's brought to our attention that there's a specific situation at hand, or if we've been watching someone for a while, like they said that they said that they don't interfere very actively in people's lives. It's very hands off. And that's why they're like the secret Men in Black, or whatever, the secret people, men and women in black. And so what the guy said was, so with you, we were at our wits' end with what was going to happen with the nuclear issue. We knew about that. We really didn't know what was going on, and we just said, Ashtar, we really hope you know what you're doing up there. And he said, I know what I'm doing. And clearly he did know what he was doing, because here you are. And so he said the probability after that we saw was that you would either get assassinated quickly, or that you would accept the offer that you were given to have a child, and that then, through your continued just unrelenting persistence, that you would break out to the outside world somehow, no matter what was being done to your electronics, or how people were trying to stop you from leaving the house, or trying to intimidate you into staying inside, or into not speaking to any other real human being, that eventually you would find your way to us. So it looks like that's what's happened. But they don't, it seems like they don't normally go to people very often, or that it is like a we've heard about you from somewhere type thing. Not that they just like look around for people to like go up to and say, hello, would you like to participate in like Doctor Who? But like they'll be doing their thing with, oh, do we have a bunch of whoever aliens harassing these people? Oh, do we have to go clean up this? Oh, do we have to go do this? It's like something like the Men in Black movie, and so sometimes they might get a recommendation of sorts, that someone working with them already will say, oh, I really think you guys ought to consider so and so, but that it doesn't work that way exactly. Like, not like the Masons where it has to be that or something. But a lot of the people that are in it have been Masons or still Masons, or part of all of the different groups, or were part of all the different groups, which was what actually managed to give them the money, power, leverage that they needed to start creating their own sort of helpful ascension type group. And so it's like, what I heard Mary Rodwell saying, where some girl in Europe said, "I'm an undercover," and then she wouldn't say her name or anything or about her location, except it was in Europe, and that I'm an undercover agent here on the planet Earth to assist with this transition. And my head just jerked like that, at almost of its own accord, because it just felt like, oh, me too. Oh, that's what I'm here for. That's what I am. That's what I am. Except you're not very convincing undercover agent if you're screaming from the rooftops that you're an alien. But see, my undercover part was kind of already over. My undercover part's sort of over. Because the undercover part was the sleeping part. That is the most convincing cover that you can have. Being a person that has no idea that you even are in any kind of spy movie. That way you can't blow a cover because you don't even know that you have one. That's pretty smart. And so that was apparently my situation. And so I was wondering, what am I supposed to do now that, quote, "My cover's blown, I wanna see you alone." It's Belle and Sebastian, reptilian music. Cancel all operations, tell your friends to cool it, your cover's blown. I would think, excuse me guys, Ashtar Command, my cover is blown. I prefer it that way, but now there are a lot of problems here. What do I do with my cover being blown? Everything's trying to kill me covertly. And I was told that somehow something was going to happen to help assist with this. And what's very funny is that, see, before I started the camera to make the first MIB video, the first nicer looking MIB video, my smartphone that I tried to, I was showing it on the other video. The first thing that popped up was a web page that had not been there before. Let's see, it's only when it's on the internet that it acts up the most. So I had it on a there. See, we're seeing it there. See it there. That's what I'm talking about, guys. You see it right there. And it will attempt to see the square you saw. It will attempt to direct you as to what to click on. So I think it said like, okay, there it is again. No, so we get it. Like, it's also green eye, kind of like reptilian. Let's see, anything taken by grays. Okay, whatever. Anything else? Sometimes it will scroll around, but so what it was doing was, the first thing that happened was there was a fake Pleiadian website up there, and there's this guy named Peter, a Russian guy named Peter, who will pop up whenever I go on Facebook, or a lot of the time. This used to happen when I would go on Facebook. This guy Peter would suddenly update, and you could tell it was like he was interfaced with a computer system constantly, or neurally interfaced through his biology, somehow interfaced with a computer, so that he could constantly know when I was on a computer. and it would always pop up, so and so is updated whatever, and I keep thinking I have to delete whatever that is. I don't know much about Facebook. I hate this thing. And so the website said like the Pleiadian message, urgent Pleiadian message, 1st of January 2014, and then I'm like, whatever, yeah, right, guys, and the thing began to scroll down by itself. The phone began to scroll down by itself, like you saw on the one video, the last video, or the first MIB video. It began to scroll all the way down by itself. It would just scroll, and stop, and then scroll more. And then it would begin to, it would see, text, but then it would begin to scroll into Russian, like Russian language, and then Japanese, and then also weird-looking programming code. Some kind of programming language that was being shown. And it was my hybrid Yael Russian female counterpart on the MIB that she said to me suddenly, "What is it that they are showing you? What is the purpose behind it?" And I said, "It's something that genetic. Something is genetic." And she said, "Good. More. What more? What is it?" And I said, "It's codes. There's something that they're trying to trigger to occur at a genetic level, but it's not working." And she said, "Good." That no, it's not working. That's the idea. And so it was. She told me though, notice what you're being shown. Notice that even that the idea that they've got is, see, even though this is in another language, it still carries intention. So you don't look at those characters, you look at intent, and you look at an energetic signature behind what is being shown to you. So you're seeing different codes that are designed to cause your body to react in a certain programmed way, like to program illness into my body or something, or program something strange like that, or like a virus of some sort into my body. But and also it was funny, it actually stopped a few times on people's comments. Before it showed me the weird code stuff, it would stop on comments of people saying, "Oh, Peter, this must be really important." So whoever Peter is, I know you know Churchill? Well, I know Kill Bill. And also the Russian chick, like I'm pretty sure her name is Naja. I'm pretty sure that's her name, or something close to that. The ja part at the end. I know that for sure. She is so outright assassinate you. She's so badass. This girl. She's so intelligent, completely independent kind of woman, but also she's very sexy too. But she's very proud of her strength, kind of like I would call this Russian spunk. She has a very much like a Russian kind of nature about her, but also then this weird Yael thing too. But then she doesn't like talking about it because of, I guess, the things that she was subjected to attempt to make her into a program sort of sadistic bonded sex slave that was being tortured in the middle of sex and things like that. And she was an indigo also. And somehow, even though she was a fairly high percentage of, with the slant of her eyes was so unmistakable, I thought, how did you even do that? How did you even get out of whatever you got out of? How did you even do that? And she didn't. She was just like, I don't want to talk about it. But I was in total shock to see, oh my god, there's actually a half Yael, or part, there's a part Yael human hybrid here that actually knows it's a human. That it actually knows it's a human. Oh my god, it actually knows it's a human. It's amazing. But she doesn't like talking about that, so I don't ask her about that. But with the concept of the recruitment, the idea is simply, I mean, you can put your intention forth, or try and read about different things of that nature. But they're also like a police force. So if you're the type of person that doesn't like having to walk up to someone like police, that's not for you. For some reason, I suddenly was able to take on this role or concept of, oh yeah, I'm the Galactic Police. I understand that. It was like, oh yes, I know. It was an instant thing. But if you are not the type of person that feels like you would be having a position of authority as a kind of like a police officer almost of sorts, then yeah, different path probably. Also, if grays really freak you out and you don't think you could handle being in a possible actual combat scenario with them, meaning they're trying to outright kill you, manifested in front of you, shooting at you, or trying to kill you, and you have to pretend you're Will Smith in Men in Black and do some weird, crazy stuff and shoot back, it's like, oh, that's so cool to watch on TV or on the movies, but if you're actually in the middle of it, it's not cool when you're actually in the middle of it. And yeah, like me, when you're actually in the middle of that, it's not cool. It's funny in retrospect, it's cool in retrospect or whatever, but it's not cool when you're doing it. Or it doesn't really seem like it could, like something that you exactly and totally enjoy, even though it's a rewarding thing to do. It's not something you totally enjoy. It's unpleasant. The Russian chick, she stepped outside, and it was this fourth dimensional space. It was like a laboratory that she had me in. It was kind of like her personal sort of laboratory place where she did lots of things, invented lots of things, and did lots of research in lots of different fields. And she stepped outside and was smoking a cigarette. And I said to her, oh, I can help you stop that if you want. And she just intercepted me with her mind, and she looked away, but at the same time was saying, look, it is a stressful job. And and also then there was this feeling conveyed of, they tried to put me on medications. We have to do the same thing with you, where we get you off the medications. They try to use that as a leash, that, so we have to get you off that. But you know what? I am allowed to have a cigarette because it is a stressful job, and the cannabis is not legal in Russia, so that gets stressful job. And since like Russian spunk, and I was like, okay, you can have your cigarette, honey. You can have your cigarette. A very, very funny partner to have. So she's telling me I am on technically the fourth dimension, so if you tried to go looking for me around your planet, you wouldn't find me because you're walking around on the third. Eventually you're going to walk into the fourth at some point, and you'll know when you're there. You will know if you walk out your door and suddenly bam, everything is all different, or something happens. You'll know if something like that changes, but for now you're going to stay where you are because that's where we want the changes all to manifest into. But when we do things in the fourth dimension, it cascades down into the third dimension when we're using the correct focus to do that. So that's why the different procedures that we do you will notice, say in a few hours later or a day later, that you were really sick and then you're better, even though all you were doing was sitting on your couch, mentally thinking of us in your head. That's because we are actually here in a space, but you're just not at that space, and we're communicating to you from that space, and we are actually able to alter these things because your body exists in many different locations at once. You exist everywhere at once in all the multidimensional physics and those concepts. I keep kind of saying, well, guys, I mean, I have nothing left for me here. Can't I just go, like, figure out whatever this is with you guys and hobnob around California in, black cars and pop into different places and do stuff? And what they said back to me is, look, you're not ready for that yet. You are not ready for that yet. You get exposed to extreme risk when you are doing what we are doing. So we have to slowly build you up to that. If you came down to actual physical combat with another human, you wouldn't be strong enough to probably either disarm them, evade them, or run away, would you? And I said, no. And they said, that's because all of your muscles have atrophied. We need to build up your muscle mass. We need to do all kinds of things to you that we're going to instruct you on how to do, and you're going to have to do it yourself. We're going to instruct you telepathically as to how to train in all of these methods. And then eventually, yes, you'll see some sort of Men in Black quasi-compound type scenario, but for the most part, you are something of a plain clothes sort of undercover kind of agent. You're less of someone that just goes around in a black car all day and night. And so I said, well, that's a little more interesting, because I thought to myself, it would be really boring to just wear a black suit all the time. I'm not going to do that. And they said, well, yeah, we know you're not going to do that, so we're not asking you to. We'll ask you to, a handful of times just for the heck of it, because we think our black suits are cool, but you seem much more fit as an undercover female agent in your area, so that seems much more like what we'll be doing. But first we have to go through even just at the precursor to basic training with you. We know that you've got the skills, but we need you physically fit to do this. So that's another thing that they need. For the types of things that they're doing, it's a multi-layered skill set, and one of the things ends up being physical fitness and training martial arts and things like that. And so it was funny when the phone started scrolling around and acting stupid and trying to show me these like weird death codes, and so I'm pretty sure her name's Naja. She says to me, so what is the idea behind that? And I say something genetic or whatever. But after that, I was turning on the phone to listen to a song, and I said, okay, whatever. Was that supposed to do something? To the phone, I looked at the camera and said, oh, was that supposed to do something? And then pulled my head away, and then scrolled to the song I wanted to listen to, and then she said, okay, okay, I want you to practice now. And I knew she gave me, I just knew what she meant. And see, when I was younger, I knew different things in different martial arts, and there's something universal in most martial arts called a horse stance. And there's also a very common kind of practice or meditation that looks like this. And that's done kind of, you can't quite do it straight because you can't pull your fist all the way back. But she instructed me just to keep, to do this. Have, play your song however many times, but as many times as you want to play your song, you have to keep doing that. And she would yell at me like a coach at a fitness center would yell at me like a personal trainer. More, you can do it for longer. You can do better. You can do better. You can do it. You can do more. Yelling it at me, but not in a mean kind of like military fashion, but yelling, "You can come on, more," and then told me to do push-ups, and then told me to do 100 jumping jacks and things like that. And she said, "No, and we're going to do this every day, and I'm going to be talking to you every day and bothering you every day to do it. So you have to do it. You've known this already, that you have to start exercising. Well, you have to do it. And if you have to do it inside of your house because they make it too hard to go outside, well then that is what you're going to do. And that is where we're going to make this happen no matter what. So that if someone tries to do anything to you, well, you know what? You will suffocate them and break their neck." Very interesting girl. I'm wondering just when exactly I will meet this person. So I suppose for anyone that's interested in the being a part of that idea, they are interested in anyone who knows about what they're doing with the Ashtar command. They're allied with the Ashtar command, so if you know what you are doing with the Ashtar command, that's something that they want to know about, because they're trying to partner up with the Ashtar command to try to actually do something that will actually work on the planet, because we're all like chickens with our heads cut off. We know we have to change stuff. We can't figure out how. And so that's what they want to, they're trying to figure out a global, okay, how do we do this? We need to tell everyone aliens exist. We need to tell everybody that they're spiritual beings. We need to tell everybody that they are entitled to life, that they are entitled to health, that they can will themselves to health, that they don't have to depend on medicine, that medicine is fake, that we've been lying to them. We have to tell them all of these things officially. We have to completely change everything, and we have to do it. And a lot of the people that are behind that at the top are the people that were originally lying in different places, apparently, is the gist that I get. But they're people who went along with it for part of their lives, or a long part of their lives, and then said, "Oh my God, I can't do this. This is evil. I can't do this. No. I'm not going to do this." Like all the ex-military type officers coming forward after going along with it and then saying no. So it's like a lot of the people that are more in the higher positions that they have are people that were like that. Also, they said to me, it's likely that if you saw some sort of strange black vehicle, shiny black vehicle in your area, you might have seen us, and we may have erased your memory for your own protection. Especially if we were having a problem with the reticulans, you wouldn't have wanted to remember it. So, like the Greys, if there were Greys there, you wouldn't have wanted to remember what the heck was going on. So, I'm actually grateful that I don't remember what the heck happened with this injection mark on my arm. I'm grateful I don't remember, because whatever the hell they do is pretty sick a lot of the time, and pretty frightening a lot of the time. So that's why they kept asking me. This is another thing that they look for. Are you going to get scared by a Grey or not? But it's really hard to test that out if you've never actually seen any Grey species manifested literally in front of you before. They can talk to you telepathically and pretend different stuff, but when they're finally manifested in front of you, you end up feeling different things than what they could disguise in a telepathic communication. And so and also the contact makes their energy very, very strong, so you can become paralyzed or different things. But depending on your own magnetic field, different people have the ability to resist their different abilities. So they look for that, and also they look for apparently people like me that have a kind of mentality with it, that I'm gonna bust through the door no matter what, or indigos that are like that. But then also the other younger, not younger children, but people that are 18 and over, but that are younger than me, so like 10 years younger than me, who were born in newer energy than I was, or the other people that are from the 80s indigo wave, who have more wisdom, more knowledge, and more skill sets to bring to the table, because it's like a huge big table where everyone brings their different skill set. So I think that will end this, whatever it's called, a blog, philosophy hour, some talk about the MIB, which now I find the fact that it's the the Russian guy, who whatever his name is, Peter, whatever your last name, that I can't pronounce because I don't speak Russian yet, apparently, tries to screw around with me, and then in response, what do? I end up training to, doing this, and forcing myself to do push-ups, and then doing yoga, and then doing a short circuit of things, and finally I said, look, I have to kind of rest, and she said, well, you did a good job, your muscles are totally atrophied, and we're going to fix that, we have to fix that fast. You're taking the right minerals and supplements, but you have to actually move the muscles, or they won't build themselves, obviously. So that's one thing I have to do. No, I don't know how to learn Russian and exercise at the same time, unless I figure out a way to get one of those programs, because there is technology now where they, quote, install languages into centers of your brain, but I don't trust some of that technology, because they could also suggest other things to you in that kind of hypnotic type technology. You don't know if they're just suggesting the language to you, or if you're also getting other things suggested to you. That was what I felt when I saw that kind of language learning stuff. So I thought, oh, well, I can see that's real, but I think perhaps there's something else subliminally in there in addition to just the language. But, so that would suck, having to do it the, totally old school way. That would really suck, but I guess I have to partially somehow figure out at least a little bit of Russian. Okay, whatever. So, you guys all have a great night, and we'll all partake in some ganja, because at least now I feel way less alone, and I'll text message you, the guy who tried to call me, and I know, you tried to call me back and everything, too. The problem was, not only was I trying to talk to the other girl from the Ashtar Command, but the delivery driver, for the cannabis delivery driver, they couldn't find where I lived, and they were calling me at the same time. So I didn't exactly get back to you, so I feel bad about that, because somebody actually called me to try and say, hey, I saw you on YouTube, are you okay? Thank God. That means that there are real humans out there. Thank God. Thank the Lord God Almighty, Jesus Christ. Thank the Lord God Almighty. So you guys are really awesome. And hopefully this interesting quasi-military MIB group will be able to deliver what they're telling me. They know I'm still a little skeptical with some of what they're saying, but so far everything has fit what they've told me. So I'm still rather cautious, but it seems like it seems like they are actually what they're telling me. But I still, have my guard up after after, all kind of manner things happening to me. So, I will see you next time on Arcturian philosophy. Have a good night.